Oh my god, guys! It's happening! It's finally happening! BTS is officially coming back. And you won't believe what just happened to Hybe's stock price. This is the news we've all been waiting for, and it's about to shake the entire entertainment industry. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're an ARMY, if you love K-pop, or if you're just interested in the business side of entertainment, you need to watch this video until the very end because we're about to break down the biggest announcement in K-pop history and the financial explosion that followed. Before we dive in, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring hat notification bell because you do not want to miss any updates about BTS's comeback. Trust me, things are about to get wild. Alright, let's get into it. So here's what happened. On January 1st, 2026, as the world was celebrating the new year, ARMY around the globe got the best New Year's gift they could ever imagine. Big Hit Music, BTS's agency, officially confirmed that BTS will be making their full group comeback on March 20th, 2026. Let me repeat that date for everyone in the back. March 20th, 2026. Mark your calendars, set your alarms, clear your schedules because this is the moment we've been waiting for since 2022. But the announcement didn't just come out of nowhere. It started with something incredibly special and personal. Selected fans who maintained their Weverse membership for the past 3 years received handwritten letters from the BTS members themselves as a New Year's gift. Can you imagine opening your mailbox and finding a personal letter from your bias? I would literally cry. These letters were absolutely heartwarming. Each member wrote beautiful messages to ARMY, and they all included one very important detail, the date March 20th, 2026. RM, the leader, wrote that he had been waiting for this comeback more earnestly than anyone else. Jimin, who spent the past 2 years greeting fans as a solo artist, expressed his excitement about finally greeting fans again as part of the team. Jimin wrote that the year they've been waiting to meet has finally arrived. Jhope said that what they imagined has finally become reality. Suga told fans to have fun together again this year. V promised to make even more and better memories in 2026. And Jungkook told Korea that this spring will be more important than ever. Shortly after fans started receiving these letters and sharing them on social media, Big Hit Music released an official statement through their X account, formerly Twitter, confirming the comeback date. They posted an article with the caption in Korean that translates to March 20th comeback confirmed, alongside the handwritten letters. But wait, there's more. BTS didn't just announce the comeback date. They wiped their Instagram page completely clean. Every single post, gone. This is a classic move that artists do when they're about to enter a completely new era. It's like hitting the reset button and saying, we're starting fresh, we're coming back different, we're coming back better. And if that wasn't enough to send ARMY into a frenzy, BTS launched a brand new website called 2026bts.com, featuring a new logo and a countdown timer. The website has tabs for album and tour information, though they're not accessible yet, which means more announcements are coming soon. The anticipation is absolutely killing us. On New Year's Eve, all 7 members went live on Weverse for their own version of a countdown to 2026. Each holding individual streams where they talked with fans and expressed how eagerly they've been waiting for this year. The energy, the excitement, the love they showed to ARMY was just incredible. You could feel through the screen how much they missed performing together as a complete group. This comeback is monumental for so many reasons. It marks BTS's first group album since their anthology album, Proof, which was released in June 2022, nearly 4 years ago. Their last full studio album was Be Back in 2020. For a group that used to release multiple albums and projects every year, this 4-year hiatus felt like an eternity for ARMY. The reason for this long break, as we all know, was mandatory military service. Between December 2022 and December 2023, all 7 members began enlisting in the South Korean military. Jimin was the first to enlist in December 2022, followed by jhope in April 2023, then Suga, who served as a social service agent due to a shoulder injury. The remaining 4 members, RM, Jimin, V, and Jungkook, enlisted together in December 2023. The last member to complete service was Suga, who was discharged in June 2025. During this hiatus, the members weren't idle. They released solo projects that showcased their individual artistry and talents. Jimin's solo album Face made history with Like Crazy becoming the first song by a solo Korean artist to debut at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. His second album, Muse, also reached #1 on both Billboard 200 and Billboard Global charts. Jungkook released his solo album Golden, which was a massive commercial success. Jimin, jhope, Suga, V, and RM all released their own solo projects, each unique and showing different sides of their personalities and musical styles. Jimin and Jungkook even teamed up for a Disney Plus travel series called Are You Sure?, with a second season airing in December 2025, giving fans a glimpse into their friendship and adventures. Jimin premiered a concert film about his debut solo tour. V became the first brand ambassador for Korean beauty brand Turtle. The members stayed connected with ARMY through various platforms, but nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to them being back together as BTS. The members have been back in the studio together working since July 2025, right after their military discharges were completed. They've promised an album that will reflect each member's thoughts and ideas, which means we're getting music that's deeply personal and probably more mature than anything we've heard from them before. They've grown, they've experienced military service, they've had solo careers, and now they're bringing all of that experience back to BTS. I can't even imagine how incredible this album is going to be. And it's not just about the album. Reports suggest that BTS is planning what's being described as their biggest world tour ever. A Bloomberg report mentioned a potential tour of up to 65 dates, with more than 30 stops in North America alone. Now, Big Hit has clarified that tour dates and scale remain unconfirmed, and the reported figures aren't final. But even the possibility of a tour that massive is mind-blowing. Can you imagine BTS performing in your city? The ticket sales are going to be insane. I'm already stressed about getting tickets, and we don't even have dates yet. According to industry analysts, if the world tour begins after the album release in March, they're expecting an audience of about 3.5 to 4 million people. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire population of some countries. The demand for BTS concerts has always been astronomical, and after a 4-year break, it's going to be even more intense. Now, here's where things get really interesting from a business perspective. The moment this comeback was officially announced, the financial markets went crazy. Let's talk about what happened to Hybe's stock price, because this is absolutely fascinating. Hybe Corporation, the entertainment company that owns Big Hit Music and manages BTS along with other groups like 17, Tomorrow X Together, Hybe, and Loose Seraphim, saw their stock price absolutely explode. On the day following the official announcement, Hybe was trading at 347,500 Korean won, up 17,500 won, which is a 5.3% increase from the previous trading day. That might not sound like much to some people, but in the stock market, a 5% jump in a single day for a major corporation is huge. But that's just one day. Let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Over the past month leading up to the announcement, as rumors and hints about the comeback grew stronger, Hybe's shares surged nearly 24%. Let me repeat that, 24% in just 1 month, according to the Korea Exchange. Hybe closed at 332,001 in early November, up 23.9% from early October when it was trading at 268,000 won. To put this in perspective, during the same period, HYB's rival companies YG Entertainment and SM Entertainment both saw declines of more than 10% each. While other K-pop companies were struggling, HYB was soaring purely on the anticipation of BTS's return. This shows you the sheer economic power that BTS holds. They're not just a music group, they're a financial phenomenon. Earlier in 2025, when news first broke that BTS would return in March 2026, HYB's stock hit a 3-year high on June 10th, reaching 309,000 won. The market has been reacting to every piece of BTS news, every hint, every teaser. Investors know that when BTS is active, HYB makes money, a lot of money. Major financial institutions and analysts have been weighing in on this, and their predictions are absolutely staggering. JP Morgan, one of the world's largest investment banks, upgraded HYB Corporation from neutral to overweight, which is basically saying you should definitely invest in this company. They raised their price target to 420,000 Korean won from 250,000 won. That's a 68% increase in their price target. Their reasoning? They're anticipating BTS's world tour beginning in the second quarter of 2026, and they believe the financial impact will be massive. Lee Hwan-wook, an analyst at Yuanta Securities, stated that the BTS comeback effect will be clearly reflected in HYB's performance. He estimates that additional revenue from BTS-related intellectual property alone could exceed 1 trillion Korean won, which converts to about $725 million US. That's just from IP. That doesn't even include concert revenue, album sales, merchandise, streaming, or any of the other multiple revenue streams. Hwang Ji-won, a researcher at Investment and Securities, provided even more specific projections. According to their analysis, with BTS's full return, HYB's estimated operating profit for 2026 is projected at 514.9 billion Korean won, which is a 622% increase compared to the previous year. 622%. Guys, that's not a typo. The operating margin is also expected to recover to the 10% range, which is considered healthy for an entertainment company of this size. Let's break down where all this money is going to come from, because it's not just one source. First, there's the album sales. BTS albums have historically sold millions of copies. Their anthology album, Proof, sold over 3 million copies. With the pent-up demand from 4 years of waiting, this new album could potentially break all kinds of records. Second, there's digital music sales and streaming. BTS songs consistently rack up hundreds of millions of streams on platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. Every stream generates revenue, and when you're talking about a fan base as large as ARMY, those numbers add up incredibly fast. Third, there's the world tour revenue. Concert tickets for BTS shows have been known to sell out in minutes, sometimes seconds. Analyst predictions suggest that if we combine growth in the merchandise sector with album and digital music sales, add in revenue from documentaries, video-on-demand content, live concert films, and online live streaming, there's ample possibility for even further upward revision of performance projections. The tour alone is expected to be a massive moneymaker. Hwang predicted that with increased proportion of concerts in North America and Europe where ticket prices tend to be higher, plus the deferred demand from 4 years without tours, the average ticket price is likely to increase. When you multiply higher ticket prices by millions of attendees across potentially 65 shows, you're looking at revenue in the hundreds of millions of dollars just from ticket sales, not even counting merchandise sold at venues. Speaking of merchandise, this is another huge revenue stream. BTS merchandise, from official lightsticks to clothing to accessories to collectibles, sells like crazy. ARMY are known for their dedication and willingness to support their favorite group through purchases. The official BTS lightstick, the ARMY Bomb, has sold millions of units worldwide. Imagine the new merchandise designs, the new lightstick version, the tour-exclusive items. The merchandise sales alone could generate tens of millions of dollars. Then there's the impact on Weverse, Hybe's fan engagement platform. In the third quarter of 2025, Weverse monthly active users increased by 20% year-over-year to 11.6 million, and the platform turned a profit on a cumulative basis. With BTS's comeback, the expansion of BTS-related content and digital sales will further strengthen the platform's profitability. More fans joining means more subscription revenue, more in-app purchases, more engagement, and more advertising opportunities. But wait, there's even more. There's the potential for brand deals and endorsements. When BTS is actively promoting, brands line up to work with them. We're talking about major global brands willing to pay millions of dollars for BTS to be their ambassadors or appear in their advertisements. Each member could potentially have individual brand deals on top of group deals. There's also content creation opportunities. Think about behind-the-scenes documentaries, making of films, concert films in theaters, exclusive content for streaming platforms. Netflix, Disney+, Amazon Prime, they would all be interested in BTS content. The documentary, Break the Silence. The movie was released in theaters worldwide. Imagine what they could do with a comeback documentary. The ripple effects extend beyond just Hybe too. The entire K-pop industry benefits when BTS is active. Tourism to South Korea increases as international fans want to visit places associated with BTS. Sales of Korean language learning materials spike because fans want to understand BTS's lyrics and communicate with them better. Korean beauty and fashion products that BTS members use or endorse see increased global sales. BTS is essentially a cultural export that benefits the entire Korean economy. To understand just how impactful BTS is financially, let's look at what happened when they announced their hiatus in 2022. News of BTS's break as a group caused Hybe's shares to fall by around 25% in a single day, wiping approximately $1.5 billion from Hybe's market cap value. That one announcement erased $1.5 billion of company value. That shows you the direct correlation between BTS's activity status and Hybe's financial health. During BTS's absence, Hybe's operating profit dropped 37.5% year-over-year to 184.82 billion Korean won in fiscal year 2024. The company openly attributed this decline to, among other factors, BTS's temporary break. Even though Hybe has other successful groups like 17, Tomorrow X Together, and Hybe who had strong performances during this period, they couldn't fully compensate for the absence of BTS's massive revenue generation. Now, with the comeback confirmed, we're seeing the reverse effect. Investor confidence has been restored and is actually higher than before because of the anticipation and pent-up demand. Nomura, another major financial institution, maintained there by recommendation for Hybe stock with a target price of 354,000 Korean won based on a price-to-earnings ratio of 38 times their forecasted fiscal year 2026 earnings per share. They noted that any delays to BTS's long-awaited comeback would be a key downside risk, which shows how central BTS is to Hybe's valuation. The stock market's reaction also reflects broader confidence in the K-pop industry's trajectory. With BTS set to make a full group comeback and other major acts like Big Bang eyeing a full reunion for their 20th anniversary, South Korea's entertainment sector is bracing for a historic upswing. The success of K-pop has been growing year after year, breaking into mainstream Western markets, and BTS's return is expected to push that growth even further. It's worth noting that Hybe has been strategic during BTS's hiatus. They've been building what they call a strong and unique intellectual property pipeline. By 2026, they're expecting powerful growth centered around BTS as their mega IP, with solid performance boosts from groups like Hybe, LE SSERAFIM, and Tomorrow X Together, who are in their mid-career phase, as well as rising rookie groups like Boy Next Door and iheartradio. These groups have been performing well in sales, tours, and streams, helping Hybe maintain market share while BTS was away. Hybe has also been expanding globally, not just with K-pop, but across mainstream music genres. They cited Cat's-Eye's traction in the US market as evidence of Hybe's potential to expand beyond traditional K-pop. JP Morgan analysts noted this diversification as part of their reasoning for the upgrade, though they made it clear that BTS remains the primary driver of Hybe's value. For comparison, while Hybe's stock has surged over 52% year-to-date with the BTS comeback news, this is actually behind the broader Korean stock index KOSPI, which gained 71% over the same period. However, analysts believe Hybe has significant room for growth once BTS's comeback actually happens and starts generating actual revenue rather than just anticipation. The stock is trading at a premium compared to global entertainment company peers because of BTS's proven track record and ARMY's loyalty. What makes this financial story even more interesting is that we're seeing this growth happen before the comeback has even occurred. This is all based on the announcement and anticipation. Once March 20th arrives and the actual album drops, once we hear the music, once music videos start breaking YouTube records, once the tour dates are announced and tickets go on sale, once we see the actual sales figures and streaming numbers, the financial impact could be even more dramatic than what we're seeing now. Think about it. BTS's music video for Dynamite broke the record for most views in 24 hours when it premiered. Their music videos regularly hit hundreds of millions of views within weeks. Their album's debut at #1 on charts worldwide. When Butter was released, it debuted at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and stayed on the chart for multiple weeks. Permission to Dance also debuted at #1. These aren't flukes. BTS consistently delivers commercial success on a scale that few artists in history have matched. And here's something that makes this comeback even more special. This is the first time BTS will be promoting as a complete 7-member group after all of them have had solo careers and completed military service. Each member has grown individually, explored their own musical styles, built their own fan bases, and gained new experiences. When they come together now, they're bringing all of that growth and maturity with them. The music is likely to reflect a more evolved BTS, one that has more depth, more life experience, more artistic vision. The members themselves have been teasing this in their communications with fans. RM posted on Weverse in November, saying the music is coming out really well and that everyone is trying their best. Jungkook told Elle Korea that this spring will be more important than ever, and he sincerely hopes everyone will have a safe and enjoyable spring, which was clearly hinting at the comeback. The excitement and confidence from the members themselves is palpable. What's also exciting is that we don't know what genre or style this album will be. BTS has always been known for versatility. They've done hip-hop, R&B, pop, EDM, rock, ballads, experimental sounds. Every album has been different from the last, with 4 years of individual exploration and growth, plus the changing landscape of global music. This comeback album could sound completely different from anything they've done before. Will it be more mature, more experimental? Will it incorporate sounds and influences from their solo work? We'll have to wait and see. The marketing and promotional strategy for this comeback is also going to be fascinating to watch. BTS and Big Hit have always been innovative with their marketing. They use social media brilliantly, they create immersive storylines and universes around their music. They engage fans directly through platforms like Weverse. The fact that they wiped their Instagram clean and created a new website with a mysterious new logo shows they're building anticipation and creating a sense of new beginning. In the coming weeks and months leading up to March 20th, we can expect a steady stream of content, teasers, concept photos, track lists, music video teasers, and more. Each piece of content will likely trend worldwide on social media. Each announcement will generate millions of conversations. The hype is going to build and build until we reach that release date, and the entire internet is probably going to explode on March 20th. For ARMY, this is an emotional moment. Many fans have been waiting 4 years for this. Some fans discovered BTS during the hiatus and have never experienced a full group comeback before. For them, this will be their first time experiencing the energy and excitement of a BTS comeback period. For longtime ARMY who have been there since the beginning, this feels like a homecoming. The members have repeatedly expressed their gratitude to fans for waiting patiently, and you can feel the genuine emotion in their messages. The fact that BTS sent handwritten letters to dedicated fans shows how much they value their relationship with ARMY. They didn't just make a corporate announcement. They made it personal. They took the time to write individual messages expressing their feelings. That kind of connection between artists and fans is rare and special, and it's a big part of why ARMY is so loyal and dedicated. Looking at the bigger picture, this comeback represents something significant for the global music industry. BTS proved that language is not a barrier to success. They sing primarily in Korean, yet they've achieved unprecedented success in Western markets that have historically been dominated by English language music. Their success opened doors for other K-pop acts and for non-English music in general. This comeback, after such a long hiatus, will test whether they can reclaim and potentially even exceed their previous level of success. Some skeptics might wonder, can BTS come back after 4 years and still dominate? Has the music landscape changed too much? Have fans moved on? Will younger generations be interested? But if the stock market and fan reactions are any indication, the answer is a resounding yes. The pre-comeback hype alone has been massive. Hashtags related to the comeback have trended worldwide. The announcement videos and posts have gotten millions of engagements. The Countdown website crashed briefly due to traffic. All signs point to this being one of the biggest comebacks in music history. It's also worth mentioning that the timing is strategic. March 20th is in spring, which aligns with Jungkook's comment about spring being more important than ever. Spring is traditionally a strong period for music releases. The weather is getting nicer, people are in good moods, summer is approaching, and festival season is starting. A spring release followed by a summer world tour would be optimal timing. The fact that the date is so specific, March 20th, also suggests that planning is already well advanced. Album production, music video filming, choreography creation, all of these things take months of preparation. For them to confidently announce a specific date means they're already deep into the preparation process and confident they can deliver on that date. This isn't a vague soon or coming in 2026. This is March 20th, 2026, period. From a stock investment perspective, financial analysts are noting that while there's significant upside potential with Hybe stock based on BTS's comeback, there are also risks to consider. Any delays to the comeback, any issues with the tour, health concerns for members, or changes in the global economic situation could impact the projections. However, most analysts remain bullish, meaning they're optimistic about the stock's potential because BTS has such a strong track record of delivering both artistically and commercially. Another interesting aspect is how this comeback affects the broader Hybe ecosystem. Other Hybe groups have reportedly adjusted their schedules to avoid conflicts with BTS activities. Hybe, managed by Hybe subsidiary Belift Lab, moved their planned March comeback to January to avoid conflicts with BTS. This shows how central BTS is to Hybe's overall strategy and how other groups' schedules revolve around them. The comeback is also expected to have positive effects on South Korea's national brand and soft power. When BTS is active and promoting globally, interest in Korean culture, language, food, fashion, and tourism increases. The Korean government has recognized BTS as cultural ambassadors, and their activity generates billions in economic value for the country beyond just music sales. Government officials and tourism boards are likely already preparing for increased international attention. For the 7 members themselves, this comeback represents a reunion after a period where they pursued individual paths while also serving their country. Military service is a significant obligation in South Korea, and the fact that all 7 members completed it shows their commitment to their duties as Korean citizens. Now, they can move forward with their careers without that obligation hanging over them. They can plan long-term, they can tour extensively, and they don't have to worry about enlistment schedules. The dynamic between the members after this time apart will also be interesting to see. They've each grown and changed. They've had time to reflect, to work on themselves, to explore their individual identities. When they come back together, they're bringing those individual experiences into the group. This could result in even better chemistry, more mature interactions, and a deeper understanding of each other as artists and as people. One thing's for certain, March 20th, 2026 is going to be a date remembered in music history. Whether you're a dedicated ARMY, a casual listener, a K-pop fan, or someone interested in the business of entertainment, this comeback is going to be something you'll want to witness. The cultural impact, the commercial success, the music itself, all of it is going to be significant. So what should we be doing as we count down to March 20th? For fans, stay tuned to BTS's official channels for teasers and announcements. Follow the countdown on 2026bts.com. Prepare your streaming playlists and accounts. Start saving money for albums, merchandise, and hopefully concert tickets. Get your ARMY bombs ready. For investors, well, that's a personal decision, but the financial projections certainly look promising. For the general public, keep an eye on this phenomenon. Watch how a 7-member K-pop group can generate billions in economic value. Observe how dedicated fandoms operate in the digital age. Pay attention to how non-English music continues to break barriers in global markets. This is more than just a music comeback. This is a case study in modern entertainment, marketing, fan engagement, and global cultural exchange. As we wrap up, let's recap the key points. BTS is officially coming back March 20th, 2026 with a new album and expected world tour. Hybe stock has surged nearly 24% in a month on comeback anticipation, jumping 5.3% immediately after the official announcement. Financial analysts project massive revenue increases with estimates ranging from hundreds of millions to over $1 trillion Korean won in additional revenue. Major investment banks like JP Morgan and Nomura have upgraded their ratings and price targets for Hybe stock. The comeback represents BTS's first group album in nearly 4 years since their 2022 anthology Proof, and their first studio album since 2020's B. All 7 members have completed military service and have been working in the studio since July 2025. The potential world tour could include up to 65 dates with over 30 stops in North America and is being called their biggest tour ever. This is huge, guys. This is what we've been waiting for. The Kings are coming back, and they're bringing an entire industry surge with them. ARMY, are you ready? Because ready or not, March 20th is coming, and it's going to be legendary. Before we end, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below telling me, what are you most excited about for BTS's comeback? Are you hoping for a specific music style or concept? Which member are you most looking forward to seeing back on stage? Are you planning to try for concert tickets? Let's get a conversation going in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and found the information valuable, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and lets me know you want more content like this. Subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss any updates as we count down to March 20th. Share this video with your fellow ARMY and anyone interested in BTS or K-pop. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video with more BTS comeback coverage. Until then, let's keep the excitement going and count down together. Purple hearts to all of you. Borahi. See you next time.